Hello everyone, so today we will start with the next chapter, next unit, that is genetics and evolution. So genetics and evolution is a very interesting chapter as it involves you and how you differ from your parents, how you are similar to your parents, and what happens, why are you so different from our ancestors. So these all answered by these unit. So genetics. So when your parents are transferring every information that they contain into you, and whatever the differences is there, whatever you are different from your parents or your siblings, these all are genetics. Okay, these all are genetics. Okay, now what happened is that after a lot of generation, you will see that you are very different from your ancestor. So when you spot the difference between you and your ancestor in a lot of ways, that is known as evolution. So these genetics and evolution go hand in hand. If you study your genetics, how you are similar to your parents and how you differ from your parents, and then you'll see the ancestors, you'll find lot of differences that comes, and the main question arises, why we have so much differences with us. So this unit will answer you why we have these differences, what are those differences, how we are similar to our parents, why we are similar to our parents. So these all are answered in this chapter, in this unit, genetics and evolution. So to better understand, this unit is divided into three parts. First is principle of inheritance and variation, next is molecular basis of inheritance, and the third is evolution. So in the first, principle of inheritance and variation, you'll see the difference in you and your parents with your eyes. Like you can spot the differences, you can see the similarities. So you are going to study how you can relate those similarities with genetics. Molecular basis of inheritance, all the cellular, at a cell level, how does these genetics work, you are going to see in this chapter, molecular basis of inheritance. And evolution, for sure, how you are different from your ancestors, how your ancestors are so different from you, why are they having these differences, you're all going to learn in the evolution. Not only that, you're going to see how this earth, being a very ball of gas, becomes this beautiful green earth. So you are going to see a lot of these things. Okay, so in this first paragraph that you'll see in front of you, there are a lot of scientists who contributed in genetics, and these scientists are very, very important. And these are Watson, Crick, Nirenberg, Khurana, Kornberg, Son and Father, Benzer, Monod, Brenner, and there are a lot of people who has worked in this field of genetics and evolution. So let's just see James Watson and Francis Crick. These two scientists are very much important, as the most important thing that they have done is they have given the theory. They have given the theory for the structure of DNA. So you can imagine, you know about DNA a little bit, and in your biomolecular chapter you have seen the DNA structure, you have studied DNA structure. You'll see how this DNA has been there, and you'll see how complex is the structure of the DNA. And these two scientists, without knowing the perfect structure, without knowing the electronic microscopic structure, they have proposed this theory of the structure of DNA. They have, through their lot of experiments, they have proved, or they have given this theory about the DNA. and we will going to learn the structure in the molecular basis of the inheritance. Okay, let's just start the chapter. So first chapter that you are going to learn is principle of inheritance and variation. Now you are going to observe every genetics part with your eyes. Okay, everything with your eyes, and you can solve those things, like how the children will be there in the next generation or in the second generation. So you're going to learn all these things. Okay, so first of all, in the first chapter you are questionable to lot of questions by NCERT. Now NCERT will give you lot of question in the first chapter, so that first page, so that you can answer those questions in the coming pages. Okay, these answers are being hidden in the pages. Okay, so these questions you can read it. These two paragraphs are there for you, all the questions are there. So after learning all the chapters, all this chapter, you are answerable to these questions. Okay, now next is they have defined the term genetics. Genetics is a subject that deals with inheritance as well as the variation of the characters from the parents to the offspring. Okay, now inheritance. What are inheritance? Okay, inheritance, I have told you that your parents and you have lot of similarities and a lot of differences. Now all those similarities are known as inheritance in the genetics term. Okay, we can't say similarities. Instead of saying similarities, we use inheritance, and whatever is the difference between you and your parents is your variation. Now yes, lot of people will understand that due to this variation we see evolution. Okay, and evolution is not just seen in the parents and the offspring. It needs lot of generation. It is a very, or I can say, gradual changes in the species. So evolution can't see by your naked eyes. You need to have lot of generation to observe. Then only you can say that okay, the evolution has been taken place. So coming back to this chapter, so whatever your parents and you have the similar thing, that is due to inheritance, and whatever is the difference between you and your parents is the variation. Now you can easily spot the variation and inheritance in you and your parents. Okay, you can also see your grandparents also. Lot of characters from your grandparents is shown in you, is not shown in your parents, but it will indirectly shown in you. So this is due to genetics. So now you are answerable to why you are so similar to your parents. Now this too has a definition: inheritance and variation. Now what happened is that human from the very beginning they breed the animals that they possessed. Okay, they breed animals. Okay, now what they do is that, okay, one cow gives lot of milk and one cow has a very good quality of milk. Now these people, what they do, they selectively select the organisms, like the one who gives lot of quantity of milk and one which has a good quality of milk, and they breed it, and they make an organism which possess both the characters, which gives lot of milk and which has a good quality of milk. Okay, and they make an organism with these two characters. So earlier humans does not know about these genetics and these inheritance and these things, but they can interbreed the animals. They know there is something or the other which is transferred from the parents to the offsprings, and they doesn't know about how they transfer, why they transfer, what are the mechanism, but they know there are certain material which is transferred from the parents to the offspring. Okay, so for that they what they do is that they take a cow with having one quality, second cow with another quality, and they interbreed it, and they make a breed which has both the characters. Now for the example that is given in the book is Sahiwal cows in Punjab. So this we humans knows from the earlier time there are certain characters that has been passed. Now we are going to learn about this in the detail.